Nah, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck happenings here in Mendham and such. Anyway, it's still, tolerable weather-wise. Still some things flowering and whatnot. And trying to be cheerful, I suppose. But for what purpose? Deception, perversion of, the necessary agenda, what we could be but aren't because we're lost in, fluffy irrelevancies. So anyway, that was sort of the subject. Oh, damn cat. This week of videos, they began with an IQ test, an intelligence test, as you say the word circumcision, and you see what kind of wacky, crazy, UFO kind of conspiracy theory, boogeyman kind of bullshit rhetoric falls out of people's mouths, and you basically judge, okay, there's somebody who has no intellectual integrity. No capacity to, no honesty checker as a program inside their brain that says, okay, you can't be overtly dishonest, manipulative, you can't pervert for your own insecure and weaselly purposes, and they don't have that mechanism, so they become unreliable as spokespersons for the truth, because you'll see what they'll do to the truth. You see what they'll do to the facts, because they have some paranoid notion, that somehow their penis is going to get offended somewhere in the process, and they're just too desperate to preserve their own personal territory, that they will, they'll shoot the truth. They'll, put a bullet in its little cute head, just to advance their psychological problem, to fix that. Yeah, this thing's dribbling a little bit. Speaking of imprecise penises. So that's always a little bit fun to, play with the, you can just see people unravel in terms of, like I said, having any integrity. When it becomes something a little bit too close to some kind of home of theirs. gotta clean the pool cover. Anyway, gotta dismantle the pool. So many things I have to do. Gotta mow the lawn. Another way of raking the leaves, I suppose. Anyway, I don't know what this is. Some sort of neurological disorder. Anyway, I think I'll sit down, but it's crunchy. But now, the cat. Oh, don't sneeze on me. Anyway, so yeah, that was, and then they got into this little bit of the nihilist kind of crap, and that was kind of the cherry on top of the nihilist poo pie. Was the my misery and me conversion again, and I've said this before, but it's sort of important if you're gonna say something to other people in the world, or you're gonna talk, or you're gonna philosophize, or you're gonna opine. You really have to be a little bit thoughtful about the fact that, well, maybe I'm full of shit, and maybe I shouldn't open my mouth if I don't have real confidence. And when people do this kind of stuff more than once, I mean, after you've even given them this warning, that, I certainly am going to lose all respect for you if you're going to sit there and vacillate on really important subjects. That's just bullshit. If you don't know what you're talking about, shut the fuck up. you know, because it just fucks with people's heads otherwise. No point in doing that. And it's sort of important. I mean, it's just, and then that sort of gets into the determinism argument, because the nihilists are basically fatalists. You know, they sort of think, you know, World War II still would have been won if everybody sat on the couch and said, I don't have to go. Yeah, they don't need me, really. And obviously it wouldn't. People have to think things, and then they have to do things. Your dog ain't going to get walked unless you get the thought in your head that it's got to be done, and it's obligation, and you know, blah, blah, blah. All these events have to happen for the event to happen. And there's nothing, you know, it's all inevitable that you will do these things, that these thought processes will take place, and that the action will take place. But the inevitability isn't visible from here, from this spot, location, and time. It's not inevitable. And clearly it has to happen. And so these, you know, these people who talk as if knowledge doesn't matter, education doesn't matter, learning doesn't matter, conversation doesn't matter, it's just so silly. Because all of that is what it requires for the leash and the collar to be put on the dog, and for the dog to be walked. So it's just kind of, it is quite nonsensical to believe in any kind of futile determinism. The determinism is structural, and it requires an entire structure. The determinism just isn't the outcome, it's the causes that produce the outcome, and all of those are determined, and they're going to be based on what we can observe. I mean, you know, this video could be more persuasive if it had, you know, talking flowers. You know, if I painted little faces on the flowers and then had the flowers make the argument, and I could do that, and maybe that would engage some people more. They'd be more curious. Or if I suggested, look, there's a virus on these plants, a fungus is growing, and it's taking over the world, and any day now it's going to show up, and it's going to rot your penis off. I could, you know, something to engage, something to, you know, do some kind of Alex Jones thing. You know, fear monger you, motivate in some kind of, you know, cucumber up your ass way, rather than idea in your head way. And but that's part of the determinism. Is will this argument be effective? Will these words mean something? Blah blah blah. And that's all going to depend on the quality of the composition. You know, whether I spent the extra time, you know, to order my thoughts and to be able to say it and construct the argument correctly. It's all part of the determinism. And I'm going to argue that over time, okay, logic seeps into the determinism. Logic seeps into our conversation about the world, because it's, you know, somebody will keep bringing it up when you are doing something stupid. Now, religion is held on because people aren't, you know, they don't have the guts to call it what it is, a silly fable, a childish fable, and instead will placate people's sensitivity. And, well, they're sensitive, and you don't want to hurt their feelings and call them imbeciles, and you don't want to imply that they're the rudimentary cause of idiocracy taking over the world, because that might make them feel bad. You know, so they have some silly notion that people feeling bad is somehow more important than, you know, perhaps billions of people being tortured to death as a consequence of a lack of preparation for the world that's going to exist, a denial of the existence of circumstances. We have, for the last few decades, been roaring our way into the computer age, and yet the politicians and the pontificators and the economists and a lot of people just kind of ignore it and just keep pretending this isn't really happening. And you know, and so that we can have all this surplus human labor, unskilled, you know, that just has huge performance issues when compared to your iPod. Your iPod is a lot better at doing something than a secretary was, you know, 50 years ago. And it's just the truth. It's completely replaced the utility of much human labor. And that has a consequence. And so it's a different world. You know, somebody can't go out and make a living, you know, on their biceps alone. You know, they have to exercise other muscles, other matter in their body, if they're going to have any utility. And there's not even a conversation about that, because we just say that, oh yeah, go to college and study any dumbass subject. It doesn't matter, you went to college, that's all that's important. Yeah, so get a degree in fucktard, and somehow that'll get you somewhere. Just no rational conversation, and it's all because nobody can afford to hurt anyone's feelings and call them an asshole. Institutions are sacred, and you know, like teachers or some other kind of pile of shit bullshit, and they can't be obliged to move into the new world. You know, they can just pretend it's still 1928, and you know, they have some sort of utility. Checking my tires. Gotta work on the old car. The Catmobile. Yeah, that's right. It's really it's more the cat's car than mine. Squatters' rights and such. Is it still working? Yeah. Yeah, it's good to check now and then. Yeah, I'm sorry. I will try just to make this one video because I'm behind and all that kind of crap. Don't want to edit. My bad. So anyway, so this is a very fruitful kind of conversation to have, though, and I think in terms of stimulating constructive thoughts in one's brain, you know, when you start getting into a conversation about, you know, the utility of your emotional responses, which are often just bigotries, and understanding their proper place or proper role to play in the mechanism of your psychology and the function of your brain and your body as a weapon for good. And that it really has to be trickled down. You know, thoughts that are well screened, okay, well screened thoughts of horror in the world because of a lack of intelligence being applied. That's the kind of thing that should be emotionally getting to you, not the subjective crap of there's a pimple on my forehead. You know, we're being emotionally triggered, you know, by all this personal, subjective, small world crap. And what we really need is to be emotionally motivated by the tidal wave of reality, you know, forming and you know, just hanging, ready to crash. And so understanding all that's just really important, and understanding the thing that this fundamental truth that everything we do, everything we touch, every leaf we sort of step on, there's this butterfly effect, the fact that everything is connected. And so if you eat the bowl of porridge, it means somebody else isn't going to eat it. You know, it's like every can of, like say you drink a can of soda. Well, let's say you didn't drink that can. Then somebody else would have drank that can. Somebody else would have drank the can they drank. And then somebody else would have drank the can they drank. And so who gets poisoned, you know, who gets all kinds of things will be dictated, whether you like it or not, by your interaction. You are acting in the world, whether you like it or not. It's really hard to completely isolate yourself from that truth, because everything you eat is food that somebody else didn't have a chance to eat. And it's all consequential. The air you breathe, the molecules you interact with, it's just a fact that you're constantly changing the environment. You're changing the wind by blocking it. You're fiddling with things that you don't see, but you can know there's all these influences that you're leaving behind. Things that would exist that wouldn't exist. Things that'll have a better fate because of you, and things that'll have a worse fate because of you. You're accidentally might be killing people you would like not to have killed. And it's all just through this interaction that you can't control. All the stuff beyond your control. And the stuff that's not beyond your control, the interactions you can order and you can do on purpose and you can do with some sort of discipline and precision, these are the arguments that come out of your mouth and the philosophy you construct in your head. And all of that stuff should be, you can test it. You can perfect it in a sense that you can at least oblige it to pass certain minimums. And so that's why I find that so obnoxious. You know, these vacillators, these mushy crap where people will find an excuse to justify any kind of nonsensical belief system and sit there and give it a pat on the back and say it's okay to be a phantasmagorical, unrealistic, silly person. That will have no impact on the world. More silly people are not dangerous. No, they are dangerous. It is dangerous. It's all very, very bad for civilization. Religious stupidity, spiritual stupidity, unrealistic bleeding heart stupidity, I want a simple solution to a complex problem stupidity. All of these stupidities are stu-fucking-pidities. And they lead to a world where assholes like Donald Trump can run for president. I had to throw that in. Fucking bugs. You know. Selfish. Psychotic bugs. And yeah, that's how you create this idiocracy that we're obviously living in, is not paying attention to the fact that this is important. These interactions are important. And everybody's just trying to be the cool kid, right? Who doesn't care. I don't care about all this stuff. I'm reckless. I'm bold. You know, and that just leads to failure in the end, and everybody knows it. The cool kids, you know, end up mowing grass for the rest of their lives. You know, they don't win in the end. And a civilization made out of goopy, sappy, you know, less than rigid, and consistent and durable and well-tested rhetoric, thought, ideas isn't going anywhere. Feudal fatalists, you know, will make no constructive contribution to the destiny of the game board. They just move pieces in chaotic ways and make noise. And if there is any effort to play a strategy, to accomplish something, to build something, their noise will end up knocking it down. They'll make it too expensive. It's like the trolls on the internet. They're not for free. They're incredibly expensive, because they force people to put up all these security measures and do all of this screening. And so most of the effort isn't about producing information and distributing information efficiently. Most of the effort becomes defense mechanisms against people who will abuse liberty. You know, the hecklers have taken control of the auditorium, and now all the seats, you know, have to be constructed with bubbles that will seal them off or eject them into the lobby, or do something else extraordinary just because everybody has to be presumed a troll. Hugely expensive and inefficient and destructive, and it just makes for bad gameplay. And you can also see it with this whole idea of this capitalist model of function, where the most of what you're paying for some products is advertising. You're not paying for the product, you're not paying the worker. It's getting further and further away from that idea of I do something for you, you do something for me, and we have an exchange, and we have a civilization. And instead it's this layers and layers and layers of middlemen taking a cut, taking a piece out of any efficiency in those transactions. Just totally fail as a diagram of how to get it done, how to get to a better future. Can't be done this way. So yeah, fuck the nihilist, fuck the feudalist, fuck the fatalist, fuck this silly putty, fuck the bleeding heart, oh, we have to be sensitive, and no. You have to also recognize, like I said, I said this before, kind of, I think. You could feel sorry, kind of, for, Tapeworm Mary, or whatever the fuck she was, Typhoid Mary. Oh, she just wants to be a crook, and she just wants to help people. So what? It doesn't change the fact that she had to take responsibility for the fact she was killing people. And she couldn't just pretend it was harmless. And, it's not my fault, or it's God's will. No, you can't do that. No. It's a known fact. You're a carrier of a disease. You have to grow up and accept reality. You can't keep pretending your God is going to make it better. Or make it okay. Just silly. So anyway, that's probably enough of this. So maybe I'll go inside, smash about, do a little bit of Stefan Molyneux maybe. See if I'm saying it's probably not too good a sign. But it is quite frustrating because the whole conversation is, and really intelligent people are doing this bullshit. It's like the modern mystic is an intelligent man, and he doesn't seem to recognize at all that this is salvageable, but it's not going to be salvaged by people saying, how do I maximize my peace of mind? Not that it's, I'm fully supportive of the idea. Again, if you can, do the Mr. Spock thing and separate the logical agenda, the mandates of what's required of you, and not be emotional about it. If you can jump on the grenade without even emotionally having any problem with it, then fine, super, that's great. I'm just saying I don't think realistically most people can do that. So most people are going to be emotional, and the problem is those emotions are going to tend to be personal and subjectively motivated rather than motivated by the more important objective causes, and recognizing that the future is much bigger than your present, and that whatever you're feeling, the world is feeling it many, 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 many times over, and the future will feel it many, 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 many more times than you have. And so that's where the judgment has to be exercised. If action is going to be taken, the action has to be directed in that direction, the future's direction. And you can't really do this, cut yourself the personal break if it's going to compromise being able to move in that direction. I mean, if you can serve both your interest and stay focused on the goal, and at least meander in the direction of a better future, then I'd say that's even okay. But you just can't keep justifying, let's fuck the future for the present. And that's obviously the whole psychology of the human race, the whole deficit spending, the unsustainable growth, all of these idiotic things that are being defended by silly, even the silly progressives like the Puro type. Go ahead, have another 2 billion people, no problem, kind of morons, because they merely can't offend somebody and say, no, you really don't have a right to reproduce. You're not really competent. It's just amazing. But see, that's the point. They have to keep giving rights because they want to take rights. They want to take, they want to claim some sort of right. And so they have to give them to be able to claim them. And what rights they're claiming is the part you have to analyze. Because it may well be that it's just selfish, self-indulgence. Alright, that's probably enough. Alright, so I shall migrate in from the out. And we'll do a little something else just for variety's sake. Yeah, it's really not for my sake. It's probably best left undone. This has all been said before. It's true. And but we'll see. Maybe there's some value to it. So let's go do something surprising. I mean, surprising is sometimes interesting. Sometimes. Alright, so lots of colorful icons. Yeah. Ann Coulter talked to Stefan Molyneux. Oh dear, that's disappointing. Anyway, I almost feel like clicking on that one just because, yeah, that would be interesting. But anyway, we know that's just going to do the immigrant thing, so see if we have some hope for something else. Cultural Marxism is destroying America. Well, that might be interesting, so. And it's current.
Hi everybody, Stefan Molyneux from Freedom Aid Radio. I hope you're doing well. Back with our good friend Dr. Duke Pesta.
Yeah, so maybe the doctor can tell you that hoping doesn't really do people any real good, so maybe you should say something else, like, if you want to do good, think good. Maybe you could say something a little more constructive than I hope. I really don't give a fuck what you hope. I mean, frankly, it doesn't inspire me.
He's a tenured university professor, which means he can insult your mama and get away with it. He is an author.
Yeah, well, that's not entirely true, but yeah, it is sort of bullshit, though. Stay at your job long enough and you get all kinds of salary increases and all kinds of other shit for not doing a damn thing. I mean, not saying anything smarter. You get paid for doing it better, not for doing it longer.
And the academic director of Freedom Project Academy, which is...
Well, right. You always have this rhetoric about all these institutional types, and then you'll sit there and use somebody's institutional credentials as if they mean something. So that seems like another hypocrisy of yours, Stefan. I mean, in 1 minute you can't say, they're all liars and full of shit and it's all a fakeocracy. And then the next minute sit there and say, well, speaking of the fakeocracy, I have a member of the fakeocracy right here. I mean, it's just bullshit.
Online school offering individual classes and complete
yes,
curricula.
Yes, do the commercial, blah, 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 blah.
Students in kindergarten through high school, you can get his work at www.
Oh, right, he's selling something. So the fucking tenured professor is making some money on the side. Oh, what a surprise.
.fpeusa.org. Dr. Pesta, how are you doing today?
Stefan, great. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, you just have to imagine what kind of dumb fuck this guy is. Dr. Duke Pesta. He's a pest, all right.
So we're going to talk about cultural Marxism, or as I like to call it, Marxism, and the degree to which it has really...
Well, why don't you talk about silly inheritance of wealth? Why don't you talk about monarchy? And, gee, that's not a very good system. Yeah, some sort of thing where you don't have to earn it. You just fall out of a vagina and you get control over something and huge advantages in a fight. Boy, that sounds really stupid. I'm glad, that we don't have any other example where we do that. I mean, we don't have Olympics run by inheritance or baseball run by inheritance, because that would be fucking retarded.
Swallowed, like Jonah and the whale, it seems to have swallowed the intellectual life of the West almost whole, and we really have a tough time viewing.
Right, and the rich have never been richer. Right, so this is just statistical facts. I mean, I don't want to interrupt this lying and nonsense that you drivel, but I mean, the rich have never been richer. I mean, it's just, they're richer than they were in the roaring 20s. Where we're in the money, blah 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 blah. Everybody's just spend, money, money, money. Yeah, they're richer than at any point in human known history. They're just about as rich could fucking be. I mean, Genghis Khan would be the only other scenario you could come up with of somebody who just owns it all. So the smallest percentage of people own all the resources, and the biggest percentage of people are without any ownership of any ratio of any time in human history. And you're going to complain that that's too socialist. Look at the way the socialism has just taken over. Yeah, I know you can fool all of the people all of the time. I know you can. But it's not ethical, Steffi. You're being a bad girl.
History, viewing literature, viewing philosophy and sociology, and sometimes even psychology outside the lens of this sort of cultural Marxism.
Ah, the cultural Marxism of the dookie-type pasta people who are institutionalized talking heads for the agenda of the fucking rich elite. Yeah, wow. Joe, thanks for spelling that out, Steffi.
Social justice warrior fetishism, or whatever you want to call it. So I wonder if you could give people a little bit of a background of
inheritance, horror, fetishism, rich, welfare, useless prick, dick sucking. You want to suck little Donald Jr.'s wiener? Is that what you want to do, Steffi? You want to suck his little wiener? That was gratuitous. But it looks like that's what he wants to do. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, it's kind of like being a pedophile. I mean, realistically, if you were actually to suck one of the wieners of the Trump sons, it would be essentially being a pedophile because, shit, they got the brain of a 9-year-old. Together, combined, they might have the brain of a 9-year-old.
What it is, where it came from, and how it either won or is in the process of not winning, depending on how you look at the lens.
Oh, shit, that was brilliant. They either won or they're in the process of not winning, depending on how you look at it. Like, the rich are, in fact, richer than at any point in history, so it sort of sounds like all this babble about socialism taking over sort of sounds like a big pile of shit, doesn't it? Yes, it does. A preposterous pile of shit.
At the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. The Western world spent a lot of time in the Cold War, really since World War II, fighting off fascism, fighting off communism. We were engaged in economic warfare. We were engaged in political, cultural warfare. We were engaged.
Right, and then Ronald Reagan showed up, right? So yeah, we were doing all that Cold War stuff, and Ronald Reagan shows up, says, tear down these walls and give the rich huge tax cuts. And that fixed everything, didn't it? So why is Stefan complaining? I don't get it. We stopped doing the Cold War, and we started doing the let's all warm up to communism by making the rich preposterously richer. Huh? It's amazing he can sell this. And these fucking whatever, soup eaters, soup chewers, 2000 and whatever to 67, just chew it up. Oh yeah, boy, that Stefan's clever. Talks very fast.
In actual warfare, many places across the world, and we won every time. The values of Western culture, liberty, freedom, all these things you and I have talked about in our previous shows.
Yes, except in all of Europe, where they have the socialized healthcare, and Canada, of course, and Australia, and and then you could go with like, well, you sure didn't beat Cuba, did you?
Going back through the Enlightenment, all the way back through the classical world, the values of liberty and freedom won when we actually faced off against the enemies of those things. But all the time.
Oh, right. When we paid when we paid Osama bin Laden to fight the Russians. Yes, we pay the fanatical religious kooks.
We were doing this. We sort of neglected to pay attention to what was going on in the universities and the schools more broadly. And even as we were winning these battles on the ground or in the...
This is guys like, he's a kindergarten teacher. I mean, look at the background. He's got little picture books. 3 books on the wall. And he knows stuff.
The culture, we were losing them in the schools. You and I had talked about Common Core a few months back. Common Core is nothing more than the pulling down of this cultural Marxism now from the universities to the middle and elementary schools. And not surprisingly, I think it was Vladimir Lenin who made the argument, give me the schools. You can have everything else, just give me the schools. And there's huge...
Well, prove that with what quote? Yeah, some more talk, right? Just some more talk. Yeah, but it's like the people have said that for like 2,000 years, Give them to me when they're 2, and I'll build a nation of robots that'll do exactly what I say. And that's somehow brilliant. Right? So you see that, even right there, you reveal yourself, Baldy 1. Oh, it's Baldy 1, Baldy 2. Look, Baldy 1. You kind of accidentally, your wiener fell out. By saying something like that, because what's the advantage of having them when they're young is that you can do the Nazi thing or something else. Yes, that's right, you can program them. You won't be educating them, you'll be programming them. And that's all you want. You want programmed, obedient servants to your God of we rich people earned it. Ugh. Puke.
Generations will have completely taken from you everything that you have. And I think cultural Marxism...
So let's understand. Again, taking everything that you've had, the rich have never been richer. They've never been allowed to take more. Okay? To have more. At any point in history. They've never been allowed to have more than they have right now. And these cretins are pretending that truth isn't a truth. Because they're liars. Creepy fucking liars. Just what the world needs. Idiocracy needs some more liars. Liar, 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 liar. Liar.
Think about the churches. You think about liberation theology. In the 50s.
Oh, think about the hypocrisy, yes, of the churches. Capitalism's... Christians for capitalism. So let's just ignore everything Jesus said, the whole New Testament. Let's just cut that book off. The book where they talk about the, do unto others thing and the forgive 7 times, 70 times and all. Yeah, let's just cut that part of the Bible off. And let's just keep the part where they do the raping and the beating of the women and, the slaughtering of the children of your enemy and all of that fun stuff. The bigotry, the homophobicnesses, and all the other shit like that. Baldy. You're in violation of God's preference, actually. You should at least have a beard, Stephen, if you're going to defend the Christians.
50s and 60s, Marxist liberation theology. So this is one of those problems that has multiple names. Call it cultural Marxism. My preferred term for it actually is what you said, social justice education.
Oh, social justice. What a horror. What a horror. Anyway, there's just no point. Okay, enough of this lying from stupid, ignorant, ugly, poor dressers. Yeah, fuck you. God. Get what you deserve, you rat bags. You're parasites on civilization. Disgusting, lying parasites. Eating just like a fucking maggot. eating the truth. Anyway, okay, so that's it. There's nothing else to say. It's too disgusting. And no point in dragging this out. It's a dismal, horrid world, and there just doesn't seem to be enough people with enough neurological function that produces something called intellectual integrity to manifest any kind of logical momentum. It's the enemy logic. And that does doom the game pretty much. It frustrates any effort to do this calculated efficiency thing. And so whatever happens, it will be done sloppy and wastefully. And that should make you sad. And such.